Hello, Abnormal Investigations. How's everyone doing? I'm doing good. Have a little announcements to make on this one, guys. On our other channel, Wide Open Adventures, Kaylee and I is going to be making my homemade barbecue sauce. I used to sell it. Used to get $150 a gallon. Won't be selling it for that though. We want to make it to where everybody can at least try it. If you want to take and try to win a sample, if you go over and join our Wide Open Adventures channel, the link is in the description of this story, this encounter. We are going to do a giveaway on a live coming up on the Wide Open Adventures channel, and you'll be able to win a sample of our barbecue sauce. You can try it and let everybody know on our page what you think about it. So, should be exciting. We really enjoy that page, and we'll be working on that today and making a video on making the sauce. So, let's get into this encounter, guys. I'm Sean. Born and raised in Mississippi. As an avid hog hunter and trapper, I've had my fair share of experiences with feral hogs, but nothing could have prepared me for the two encounters I had with a creature that I can only describe as a werewolf. While I was out walking, looking for hogs, I heard something following me. I wasn't sure what it was. I could hear it every now and then when I would stop walking. I could hear it to continue to walk behind me. My dog, he would act upset. He didn't even know what to do at times, as he would sniff the air and almost growl like he was angry. He's never done this before. He's a black-mouthed cur, if anyone has ever heard of that breed. I truly love him. Anyways, we were walking down across the old lake bed whenever we got to an old trail that ran up between the trees. We was going up through the trees, and we could still hear this thing following us. It must have got closer because I started hearing the breathing. Its breathing was heavy, almost like it was labored, like an old bear or something that might have been injured or maybe was dying. I kept looking over my shoulder. I couldn't hardly watch the hogs or the hog prints because I kept feeling like something was stalking me while I was stalking the hogs. As I continued to press on, evening began to wear on, and it was almost to get dark. The sun had actually went below the horizon. You could still see, though, pretty well. As I was walking through, I heard something start to moan, like it was in pain. And again I looked, and I saw nothing. My dog at this point is almost to trip me. Usually he runs ahead of me, ready to grab a hog or chase a hog or for us to take down the hog, but right now he's acting like he's just scared to death and want me to carry him. As we go up the trail, we're following the hog prints. We get up and I see a huge puddle of blood. And I'm talking, it looked like something was massacred. It's up in the weeds, it was shredded on the trees. It was terrible. I'd never seen anything like this in my life. So I followed the blood trail, thinking that, the hogs had fought, and maybe one of them had got an artery cut by another one, and he was going to bleed out, and I would soon find the rest of the pigs. As I went on, I found a structure. It was a bunch of tree limbs placed upon a tree that made a teepee. The blood trail ran inside of it. Whenever I went up, that's whenever I saw something that, well, I know was not normal. When I looked inside of the teepee structure, there was part of the hog, but the weird thing is, there was a stick inside of there, and the stick had a hook on the stick naturally formed that had been broken off, and the hog meat was hung in there like a hunter would hang his meat after a kill to clean it. It was almost a whole side of hog. Then I got to thinking, where's the other side of hog? What ate it? So I started making my way out. I was carrying my .223 AR-15, which is usually what I take when I hog hunt, and I carried my .45 on my side. As I was going back to my truck, I continued to hear the same thing. So I finally got Jack loaded up in the back in his box, and whenever I got into my truck, it was now getting pretty dark. I shut the doors and locked them, which I rarely do. I'm hardly ever afraid to be down there. I mean, the woods is my second home. We get a lot of our meat from there to support my family. That's when I heard the scream of a lifetime. Well, it was a scream, maybe more of a roar. This roar came out of nowhere. It shook me so bad that I was just like, oh my God, I almost couldn't even put my keys in the ignition. So I finally get the truck started, and as I start to drive away, something slams into the side of the truck. It feels almost like somebody ran into me. It was solid, right into the passenger side door. So I press on the gas. I have overhead bright lights on my truck because I also fish, and I turn them on behind me, which is a long rack light that is super bright. Whenever I did, off to the left-hand side of the road, I saw eye shine. This thing was massive. All I could see was the outline of it, and the eye shine, of course, which was about 8 or 9 feet tall. This thing was huge. So I'm flying down this dirt road, trying to get out of here, over these chug holes and hills and down the paths and everything. And when I finally get out and get home, I get out of the truck. And old Jack, he runs to the other side of the truck by the door where this creature had apparently ran into my truck. And he starts licking my door. And when I turn my headlamp on that I still have on from the hunt, I notice on my door that my door is completely dented in, and it is full of blood. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, did it hurt itself? But whenever I looked into the back of the truck, it wasn't hurt. It had thrown the whole skin of the hog into the back of my truck. So whatever ran and hit my truck looks like took that skin and slapped it into my door and then threw it into the back of my truck. I have no idea why it would do this, why it would not keep the skin. I guess it wouldn't eat the skin. Does anybody have any idea why it's done this? Because now at my home, we're starting to hear howls. We're starting to hear stuff at the windows. The kids are getting scared. My wife is hearing breathing at her window. And the other night she was taking a shower and something was pecking on her window. I'm installing lights today, motion detector lights completely around the house. And I'll be putting up my hunter trail cams around the home. If I catch anything, Mike, I will definitely send it in to you. Excuse me. It sounds like that you were stalking the pigs and it was stalking the pigs to me. It might have threw the blood on your truck and in the back of your truck so that it could track you and find your home. It sounds like it did follow you home. I think what you're doing is the right thing, putting up the lights and the motion detectors that should get rid of it. But yeah, definitely watch your wife and kids. They seem to be very attracted to them now that it's followed you home. And it seems like even when we have these encounters, and we don't mean to have these encounters, or just by accident, that these things, they still follow us, and they still are sometimes hard to get rid of. So I hope you are able to get rid of these, and please keep us updated. I'd like to know, and I'm sure our audience would like to know, if you get rid of it or if it sticks around. Thank you very much for that encounter, and until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel, don't be something's dinner, and go over and subscribe to Wide Open Adventures if y'all would like a chance to win some barbecue sauce and some great family content. Again, the link to it will be in the description. Thank you all so very much. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you on the next one.